Welcome to the SJ Child Show. This episode is sponsored by Water and Body Basics. Visit 3440 South, 5600 West, West Valley City, Utah. Mention SJ Childs today.
Hi, and welcome to the SJ Childs Show. I'm your host, SJ Childs, and today my special guest is Shauna Toft. She is coming from Texas, and she is a actress and a mom and other things that we'll find out more about in just a few minutes. Let's welcome her to the show. Thank you so much for coming, Shauna. It's so nice to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's wonderful to be here.
Yeah, I love to have new people, discover their unique human talents and just let them kind of promote themselves and get all of their work out there. So let's kind of start off on just introduction and go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know what you're doing now.
Well, I am Shauna Toft, and I am a Texas-based actress, although I do travel all over the place, and that is going to be more and more frequent, and I absolutely love it. I am a single mom of 5, and they are also involved in the entertainment industry. We actually have a movie coming up that we have to film yet. We were supposed to be filming it in February, but COVID happened, and where we're supposed to be filming it in Florida, they're not open for the entertainment industry just yet in that capacity. So we've been pushed back several months on that. But you can check it out on IMDb, and Watch Dogs is the name of the film. It was entered into film festivals, and it just won a screenwriting award, I believe, with funding and promotion and that sort of thing whenever we do get to actually start filming it. Jason Brooks is one of the main characters in that film, and he is actually the new Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th Vengeance movies.
Wow, okay.
So yeah, we get to work with him, and one of my kiddos actually gets to be the young version of him in the movie.
Wow.
We all have very strong supporting roles, and in that film, I am a villain. So I love it, love it, love it. I get to do things that I normally would not do, and it's pretty amazing. So basically, it is a post-apocalyptic thriller, and I cannot wait to actually get to start filming on it, especially since my kiddos are in it too.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. And 5 kids. Wow. How do you do it? Oh my goodness.
Well, the whole single parenting thing is just another day to me, because when I was married to their father, I was still single parenting anyway. And that's a different story altogether. But I have been happily divorced for 11 years and look younger every year, apparently.
Hey, I love it.
It was a really, really great thing. Great life choice. So I don't recommend it for everyone, of course, but in my case, it was amazing, and it allowed more and more doors to open. My kids are older now. Believe it or not, this face is 42 years old. And I have a 20-year-old son, an 18-year-old son, a 16-and-a-half-year-old daughter, a 15-year-old son, and a 13-year-old daughter.
Okay. So they're basically independent souls now anyways. So that's so nice, right? You're not dragging toddlers around to the set with you or anything like that.
Oh, mercy. No, there's
I don't know if you ever had to do that.
There's no way I could have done that without a personal babysitter.
Yeah.
So they are older, and I've been in the industry for going on 4 years now. I can't believe that. I grew up in theater, and so I've always been a performer, but I transitioned to film and television almost 4 years ago now. So it's pretty amazing to think, oh my gosh, it's been that much time already. Holy cow. But my kids and I all actually got started as extras, because in our in our neck of the woods, here in Texas, that's how most people really get started because there's not a whole lot of production going on, although that is rapidly changing, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Our film commission is really, really pushing for some changes to be made, and the SAG board is pushing for changes to be made. And we've been able to do some SAG productions here, like Cruel Summer is currently on Freeform and Hulu. That is technically a Disney production because Disney owns Freeform, and we filmed it in Dallas.
Oh, great.
So my two oldest boys and I worked on that together for 2 months. I'm actually credited with the show. I was in the original pilot before COVID happened. I was a waitress in the original pilot, and then they wound up having to recast one of the actors, and so they had to change things up a bit. And so I'm no longer a waitress in the show, but I am a reporter in episode 5. And throughout, I mean, we're different kinds of extras, and it's really, really neat because I do editing as well. I'm a model, an actor, an editor, a director, a producer, an MC, you name it. I have an LLC, and it's been rapidly growing. But whenever I watch something back, especially something that I've been in, I know where there are editing blips, and it's really it's cool for me to watch from an actor perspective as well as from an editor and director perspective, because I'm like, hey, I know what was going on there. So I don't know if I'll get in trouble for saying it, but there is one part in episode 5 where I am simultaneously at the dunk tank and up in the cage ride.
Oh boy. My husband will notice that one. He gets all those things. That's funny.
So, and then you'll see me on the bumper cars in that episode as well. And then I'm one of the reporters when they're interviewing a couple of Kate's friends. So that episode so far has the most exposure for my two boys and me.
Nice.
And we did not film that in the summer. We did not. We filmed it January, February, March, and it was brutal.
And it's a summer scene, I take it.
Oh my God, yes. It was, the weather was brutally cold and windy when we did the carnival. So they had these propane heaters out there for us. We were packing hand and toe warmers all over our bodies, and I had one of those. My boys and I had the Zippo camping warmers that you have to light. And we were just doing our best to stay warm and not show chattering teeth.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting doing that. So one little tidbit is, a lot of times we're filming in opposite seasons because wherever we are, it's their off season. So like we filmed the carnival at Trader's Village, and it's very prominently displayed at the beginning of the episode that we're at Trader's Village. So they got their nice little plug there too. And it was really neat getting to work with everybody on that show. We've got another movie coming out, 12 Mighty Orphans. My youngest daughter and I are in that movie, and we're extras in that one too. But a really cool tidbit on that is Martin Sheen actually came up to my daughter and me in the lunch tent, when we were waiting in line to get our food. And he is a phenomenal man. I don't know what happened with Charlie, but
yeah, he seems like a really neat guy.
Yeah, Martin is really cool. And I wound up having some food prepared by his chef.
Wow.
Because I am severely allergic to shellfish and the oils in the air. And the last day on set, they had surf and turf, and I couldn't even go in the tent whatsoever. So Martin's chef made me a steak.
That's so nice. I mean, that must be a little bit hard for you living on in a coastal state, right?
Well, it's not too bad. I just avoid any seafood restaurants, and
Yeah.
I'm cognizant when I go somewhere that serves seafood and it's not exactly a seafood restaurant. Like a lot of steak places will
Yeah.
have seafood, and if I smell it, then I'll just be like, "Hey, I need to go," or "I need to move," or something along those lines.
Yeah.
As long as I can't smell it, then I'm fine.
Wow.
But that I have to be extra cautious for anything that I'll do in New Orleans.
Oh yeah, right?
Pretty much just make sure I have an EpiPen with me
Oh my
just in case I
goodness.
need that. But I've been able to, for the most part, be just really, really careful, and just make sure that I can't smell it.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. It used to be where I just, didn't eat it. And now it's like, oh my gosh, I'm like really reactive to the oils in the air. Holy cow.
Wow.
So yeah, that's just something that if I'm able to, I let people know ahead of time, hey, I cannot be around
Yeah.
shellfish, period.
Definitely.
I like to breathe. Thanks.
Well, and hopefully everyone can respect that and give you that
totally,
space.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we were working on Cruel Summer, we had the same catering crew as we did for 12 Mighty Orphans. And so like I became really good buddies with one of the guys in particular. And he's like, I got you, no seafood today.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh, thank you.
I love that.
Yeah. There was Go
when
ahead.
you make, I was just saying, I love when you make relationships with people like that are just, people you wouldn't rather expect usually, or something like, the lady at the customer service at the grocery store. And it's so nice to know that I could just be like, oh my gosh, this happened. And she's like, okay, let's fix it. There's no questions. There's no like, oh, I don't know if I can help you. She's just like, oh yeah, you're my friend. Let's get it done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're all just people. It doesn't matter what our role is somewhere.
Yeah.
We're all just people. I mean, come on, you don't have to, some people like put themselves in a box,
Yeah.
oh, I'm cast. I'm not like that. I'm like,
I
hey,
like
what's
that.
up, janitor?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
whoever. It's like, hey, how's it going today? And people really, really like that, because it's like, who doesn't want to be acknowledged, no matter what your role is? Who doesn't want to be acknowledged?
Yeah.
It's part of being human.
I like to thank the thankless, I say, like the people that are washing the windows and taking the trashes out or whatever, the hospital worker that's cleaning off all the things. It's like, has anyone thanked you today for your stuff? Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I just love that. I love that.
I was in a Walmart the other night. I do independent contract work now. I have no employer, and it's amazing.
I saw that. Congratulations.
I can be on set whenever I want to. I can take on jobs whenever I want to. Nice. So I am in the process of doing a complete Walmart remodel. But if I don't want to work that day, I don't have to work that day.
Yeah.
So but it's funny because like when I first got there, the employees at the store were, like, hey, whatever. And so, I was like, hey, how's it going? How can I best help you today? And they were just like, oh my gosh, really?
Who is this person?
Yeah. So, they are the thankless too. It's just, put a smile on somebody's face. It doesn't take much. It really doesn't.
It's such good karma for yourself too, right? Not that you're doing it even for yourself. You're doing it for them, and then it just comes back naturally.
Absolutely. I mean, you get back what you put out. Yeah. So if you are in an area of your life where, you really don't like what's happening around you, kind of might want to look in the mirror a little bit, do a little self-check and see, hey, what vibe am I putting out there?
Yes. I love that you said that. It's so important for people. Yeah.
Well, and I'll tell myself sometimes like I'll be in a bad mood or whatever. It's kind of rare that I'm in a bad mood, but I'm like, you know what? I have an attitude problem. I need to fix my attitude problem.
Yeah, right. And just be honest with yourself, but graceful with yourself also, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Well, and it's okay to, have a bad day every once in a while, but it's not okay to take it out on other people. Mm-hmm. It's like, what self-check can I do, and how can I not take it out on other people?
Yeah. Is that something you teach your kids too? Probably. I try to instill that in mine too.
Yes. Well, my house, since I got divorced, I designated my house as, it is a designated drama-free zone.
Ooh, I like that.
And it's a designated drama-free zone. And, there is some drama here and there. But we nip it in the bud really, really quickly. And so, my older kids, they're chill for the most part.
Yeah.
My 13-year-old, she's the youngest, and she's coming into her own space and everything. And she is in a stage where she's really argumentative. And so I'm like, okay, sweet pea, I love you. I love you. I love you. But let's take a step back and look at the situation, because the conflict that is happening in this house is centralized around you. So let's take a look at what you can change about that, because it's not everybody else in the house.
Yeah.
It's let's focus on the inside here,
Yeah.
and let's figure out conflict resolution.
I love
because
that.
nobody wants to hear all that. And it's not healthy to be in a constant state of conflict. You can disagree with somebody, but you nip that in the bud as quickly as possible, because I refuse to have drama in my house.
I love that. And I think that is so important. My daughter's only 9, but she is the fiercest, sassiest, argumentative. I've been telling her for years, you are going to be the best lawyer that I've ever met, because her arguing skills are top notch. And, it's just like she can find a way like to argue anything. And sometimes she's not wrong. I'm just like, how did she get that? How did she figure that side of it out or something, but oh yeah, it's really hard, because you don't want to like damage their individuality by saying, no, this is on you. But at the same time, there is accountability that has to be had. So absolutely. It's such a fine line, right?
Absolutely. And it's really important for them to learn conflict resolution at an early age too, because you are not going to agree with everybody all the time. They're not going to agree with you all the time. And, there are a lot of bridges you don't want to burn.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
It's really been interesting since, and she started getting pretty sassy in the weeks leading up to her 13th birthday, which she just turned 13, April 2nd. And so I'm like, girlfriend,
right.
Yeah, we're gonna have to fix that like right now.
Exactly.
But she goes on set with me too, and recently she and I did 2 commercials together.
Oh, cool.
We did one for a hospital, a children's hospital, and we did another one for a TENS unit, actually. And so she got to be my real daughter in both of those.
I love that.
Really fun, because like for the TENS unit one, no, my apologies. For the children's hospital one, my set daughter was going to be 4 years old, because I have the baby face going on. But that particular mom was being difficult with scheduling and stuff, and so I happened to know the director of photography for that production, and so he's like, "Hey, we're casting you, but do you know of any kids?" I was like, I have 5.
Right.
She's my real daughter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And that's where relationship equity comes into. And I tell my kids about it all the time also. But like in the entertainment industry, relationship equity is super, super important. And I've got people who follow my career, who people in general know these people's names, and they're following me and my career. And I'm just like, that is rocking the house, dude. But, it's important in anything that you're doing, because if you don't have that relationship equity, you don't have that leeway in certain areas, you don't have that pull in other areas, it's a whole lot easier to go through life when you have taken the time to build the relationships, and they're not self-serving either.
Yes, exactly.
So self-serving relationships are never, ever healthy. They're never going to work out. And, you know, when you go into something with the intention of helping the other person as much as you possibly can, you know, it's going to come back to you one way or another. And if it doesn't, who cares? You still will be able to help that person.
Yeah.
But, you know, most of the time it is a mutually beneficial relationship because you're not going in there with the wrong intent.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I love that. I completely agree. I think that fostering your relationships, nurturing them, being truthful with all kinds of truths, the truths that people don't want to hear, the truths, but you know, gently, of course. And but at the same time, you know, my family, my husband and children have autism. And with that comes the literal truth. And sometimes it ain't pretty and I don't love it. And neither do other people. And they've unfortunately lost relationships and people have misunderstood, but it's our challenge, or you know, kind of our burden to bear with that one. Learning how to communicate properly and how to nurture these relationships. So hopefully you know, we're all kind of in it together, and with people like you and your children, it sounds like just really you sound like such a great example of a wonderful person out there in the world. And so great job. Proud of you.
I do have to, I am going to plug my acting coach, Glenn Morsauer, for reinforcing all of that in my life. Also, he is currently on The Resident, and he just did a movie with Rami Malek and Denzel Washington. Cool. So he's been, pardon me, he's been in the entertainment industry in Hollywood since he was 15 years old. Wow. And I have the pleasure of calling him friend and mentor.
Yeah.
And you know, because he's based in the same area that I am also, and so he flies out to go film, and we love that we get to see him on a regular basis. You know, we are trying to have as many get-togethers as we can, but you know, scheduling challenges and COVID challenges and all that sort of thing make it a little bit difficult. But we're, you know, we have classmates who are getting together here and there, and you know, Glenn makes events that he's able to. And you know, one thing I love about Zoom is that we still get to see each other's faces, and we still get to with each other. We still get to learn. He still gets to pour into us, and we can be literally anywhere in the world. We've got somebody over in Russia.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, for example, we've got another person in Australia. You know, we've got people all over the world who are now able to be in class with us, and
that's so neat.
Are able to have him just pour into their acting career. It's amazing. But one thing I really want to highlight him on is he focuses not just on acting, but on total wellness, mind, body, and soul.
And that's so cool too. What a great plus.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, going to class is therapy. Yeah. It really, truly is therapy, because we spend the first part of class, we spend like an hour to 2 hours focusing on total wellness and whatever talk he has for the day.
That's really amazing value that he brings. That's incredible.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. So I love that. I am beyond blessed to have him, you know, personally in my life.
Yeah.
And you know, we call him Daddy.
Oh, that's great.
He calls himself Daddy. We're his kids.
That's great. You know, I love that. It's
absolutely wonderful. I love being a part of his class. I've been training with him for the past 2 years, and you know, I can see so much growth in my career, and it's not just through the industry contacts that I've made. There has been not just acting growth, but there's been a whole lot of personal growth too. Yeah. And it's like, you know, it matters what your presence is out there, what your essence is out there, what vibe you're giving off, whether you're, you know, actually talking to somebody or not, you know, what vibe is coming off of you're just being there.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and at first, like I was still, it took me a long time. I was in a really unhealthy, abusive marriage for far too long. And went to therapy and all that kind of stuff. But, even when I first started in the film and television side of things, you could still tell
Things were
that
coming up.
I had not
Yeah.
fully processed everything.
Yeah.
And, there was that, still that caged animal about me, and I was still like walking on eggshells and
Yeah.
I mean, we had one exercise when we got to still physically meet for class. We one at a time just sat on a stool for like, I think it was 1 minute. And at the end of that, people gave their feedback. And it broke my heart.
Oh, because you were sad and you didn't know it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It broke my
Yeah.
heart. But now it's like there is so much joy that radiates.
Yeah.
And I book so much more. So much more.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. I'm so happy to hear that. And I really honor what you're doing in the world and your talents and the fact you're bringing your children in to do those rewarding things also. What are maybe some tips you could give to parents for starting their kids out as extras and things like that?
I would say, there are a lot of opportunities in different acting groups on Facebook even, which I was really, really surprised by because, initially I was going on to all the different casting sites that there are. If you are in the South, there is a free database called My Casting File, and they film a lot in Texas and Louisiana. There is a ton in Louisiana right now for extras. I am not even kidding. And they're filming a movie with Anna Paquin out there, which I actually just worked on American Underdog with Anna Paquin.
Oh, that's great.
Oh gosh, you wouldn't know it to see her on screen, but she is really shy.
Oh, wow. Isn't that crazy when you learn these things?
Yes. She is tiny and she is really, really super shy. Like,
Amazing.
she was hiding behind people because she didn't want people like staring at her.
Oh, wow.
So cute. But I worked on American Underdog for one day up in Oklahoma, and she's working on where the crawdads sing in New Orleans right now.
Oh, wow. That's going to be great.
I think they're just about wrapped up on that, but there are still some opportunities to be extras. Nice. And then there's there's another production going on out there. I don't think it's the same one, but it is the 1960s. Okay. It's a period piece in the 1960s. So if you're in the New Orleans area, check out mycastingfile.com. I'm going to plug them a little bit. Nice. And set up a free profile on there, and then you can get started there. If you are not in the South, or you don't want to set up a profile somewhere, then I would definitely recommend going on Facebook and just looking up castings in your area. That's great. But also be sure to vet them.
Okay.
So be sure to vet them, because there are so many out there that are unpaid. I do not work for free. I did on occasion when I first got started, but I'm at a point where, hey, if you don't pay me, you don't get me.
Yes.
But that's what comes with the training, the bookings, and and I have people reach out to me directly for bookings, actually quite a lot. And that's for feature films, that's for commercials, that's for MC work, that's for directing, that's for all sorts of things in the entertainment industry, because I've already made a name for myself. Yeah. But when you first start, I mean, I think it's totally fine to do some stuff for free or for lower pay.
Yeah. Get your reputation built up a little. Yeah.
Don't stay there unless you're just wanting to do it as a hobby. If you're wanting to do it as a career, do not stay there. Yeah. Where you're working for free or for very, very little pay. So make the connections that you need to make, with the intention of being helpful to the other person, not using the other person. Yes. If you're in it to use the other person, that's going to come back on you too. And then you're going to be getting blacklisted, and you don't want that.
No, certainly not.
That's in any area of life too.
Yeah, right. You should really
So,
just keep that in mind in general.
seriously,
Agreed. Yes.
don't use other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
No,
gonna know.
seriously. And yeah, exactly. No, I agree. And, sometimes I think my husband and I are really like that. We're really giving. We're humanitarians. We're just like wanting to give of ourselves so much. And some people, we have to really draw back because we start seeing the effects of, oh, wow, well, this is only coming up when they need something or only, this and that. And so, yeah, got to really just kind of protect yourself.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, and the more and more you make yourself known, the more people are going to be reaching out for different wants, needs, and whatever. And so you have to just always vet. There have been, sadly, there have been more people than I like that I have had to eliminate from my life just because they're not healthy for me. And I refuse to have people in my life who are not healthy for me.
Yeah. I like that.
And I've had to actually cut some additional people out of my life because they're still associates with people that I've cut out of my life. I'm like, love you, but you don't need to be in my circle anymore. Yeah. And I don't necessarily tell them that, but that's my process going through my head. I'm like, you know what? Gone.
Yeah. Definitely. No, I think it's great to surround yourself with like-minded individuals and people with the same values. People like you and I who can, agree on so many levels of different things. And it's nice to kind of have these connections being made. Thank you, Steve Joyner, for making this connection for us. We got to give him a good plug and tell him thank you so much. And wow, the incredible people I've been able to meet just in the last couple months through him have been amazing. So very thankful and grateful for that. Before we go, I want to know, and everyone wants to know, where we can find you. So give us all your info, girl.
Well, you can find me, of course, on IMDb. Yes. I have a vanity URL on there because, that's me. It's www.imdb.me/Shauna Toft. That is SHANNATOFT. That last name phonetically is Tango Oscar Foxtrot Tango. First name phonetically is Sierra Hotel Alpha November Alpha.
Love it.
You can also just straight up look me up on IMDb.
Yeah.
Just type in my name, Shauna Toft. I'm on Instagram under @Shauna Toft. I have a public Facebook page because only those in my personal circle get my personal page. But my public page is IMDb Shauna Toft.
Okay, perfect. Oh, thank you so much for your time today. And I'm so excited to check out some of these shows that you've been in. And I'm going to skip to Hulu right after this and see what we can find. And woohoo, absolutely. Oh, it's been such a pleasure. And I hope that we can connect more in the future and get you back on and find out what's going on later on.
I would love that. Thank you.
Me too. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
You bet.
Bye.